Alright guys, this is a P218 pan. You can see how the starter's mounted to the oil pan. See it? But this one don't have a solenoid on it. They do make a starter. It's for a 1986. It has the same bolt pattern, and it has a solenoid on it. So you could either use this starter, but you got to put a relay, or I could use this starter. I got another pan here that I just cleaned up. I just buffed it with the thing to clean it up. I just have to blow it out with air, but this pan here is bolts to the side. It's a B84G, which is the motors that had the points. At 87, they switched over to the electronic ignition, no more points, and they did the starters underneath on the head. So it's bad design. So you could put these pans on it, or you could weld it up. This is a better way of doing it. We're gonna bolt that starter to here. We'll get that on the motor. Use the starter. It's got the you bolt the battery to here, and then this goes to the ignition switch. This makes it easier. And I could put this on there, but I just gotta go with a solenoid if I use that one. Alright guys, you can see how this is a much better design. The thing ain't going nowhere. I did put some lock washers on it, and once it's all in there, it's gonna be secure. It's the best way to fix them. I mean, these pans aren't cheap. You got to get them off an old motor. $1.50 for the pans, and then the starter's another $100, right? So I mean, to do the repair, you're looking at $250. Not cheap. I should be able to flip it upside down onto a milk crate here, and so we can work on it. It should work. Flip it upside down on a milk crate. Not easy, Mama. Not an easy one. Not an easy one. What do you think? There, flip it upside down like that on that milk crate? I think so. Why not? Be a Girl Scout. Won't be a Girl Scout. She's a crusty one, Mr. Grinch. Oh, wait. Got all the oil out of it, so it shouldn't be an issue. I really need to put a piece of angle iron in there. I could. Alright, and that gives it a little bit more stable, a little bit more stabilization. You can see where the starter, I mean, could I weld that? Probably, and re-drill it. I probably could, but we're just gonna go with the other pan. That would be the best way. Just change it. It's 4 bolts. And, we'll put the other pan on there. While we got this off, we could tighten the rods up. Connecting rods. Here's a leaker. Yeehaw! Alright, I gotta take this apart. There's a bracket here. I'll just loosen up that screw to get that out of there, maybe. Here's a leaker. Here's a leaker. Gotta get it so it can turn over on its own will, right? With a battery. Wow. Oh shit. Eee. It's pretty tight. The new one come with new studs. I'll probably use the old ones. I kind of like to leave the studs where they were so I know what studs went in what hole, and sometimes you're better off staying with what you got with going different bolts, right? I'm gonna have to clean the thing up. I want to check the connecting rods and see what we got for them, if they're loose. These things are known to loosen up and blow rods, so well, I got it apart. We'll change that. I think it's gonna be good. We'll find out. I'm just gonna put these on the ground so I know where they go. Put them back. Alright. Let's see if we could get something we could tap this thing off with without ruining it. There it goes. Yeah, give it the old how you doing. Alright. Alright, what I'll probably do is Let's see if these are loose. Gasket looks pretty good here. To be honest with you, I might reuse that gasket. It didn't peel or nothing, it stayed right on there. Look at that shit. Gasket stayed on there nice. I might put some jism juice on there and be done with it. I don't know what size. It looks like probably 7/16. Let's see. I'm just wondering if they're loose or not. What do you think the chances are that they're loose? Oh, got a quarter turn on it. Yeah. Ready? See if we get anything out of this one. I bet you easily get a quarter turn out of them. A good quarter turn out of them. That's why them them rods blow. Guaranteed. Get a little bit more of that thing if I can. Don't hurt to tighten them up. Alright? Yeah, this gasket don't look bad. I think I'm gonna put a little bit of black stuff on there and be done with it. Got some jism juice on there, mama. I'm flipping cold or something. I got sniffles. The gasket's still good, so I'm not gonna play around with it trying to peel it all off or nothing. I'm just gonna put a little bit of aviation stuff on there and bolt it down. Try to reinvent the wheel here. Get yourself in trouble. I got some black Permatex here. It's black silicone. I'll try giving cut a little bit of this edge off of here, I guess. Don't need a lot, just a little bit on there. A little bit of the black. I don't want to put too much, just a little bit. Just a little layer. That's a little layer of it. Little black jism in there. The gasket's still good, so I'm not gonna put a new one on there. That thing was fine. We're just gonna give it a little how you doing coating with silicone, and we'll pop the old one. We'll pop that new. Not rocket science. I blew this thing all out good. You can see this thing, I blew it all out good with the compressor. I should be able to drop this right on there. This one's got a plug on the bottom though. A little different. Might have to drill a hole on the bottom for this. That's not a problem. I could drill a hole for this to get it drain out. The other one had a tapping on the side. This one don't. This one don't have a tapping on the side. You'll have to get it off the bottom, I guess. Could always put a nipple, come out with a nipple and a cap on the bottom if I wanted to, whatever. Alright, it'll fit in there good. Putting the same bolts back that we had in there, the same spot. I wonder if that one's any deeper. Looks the same to me. Looks the same to me. Here's a leaker. make sure this comes off of here though, you know, this plug. Seeing it's a there's gonna be a plug on the bottom there. I'm gonna have to put some dope on there. Now that's gonna be the new drain off the bottom. The other one come out the sides. I mean, I could, if I had to drill a hole, I can, I guess. If I do it, I'll probably drill a good size hole so I can get up there with a socket. I'm surprised this one don't have a tapping on the side for a drain. Seems odd. It is what it is, what can I tell you? Alright guys, that one's got a hole drilled for the drain right there. See it? I'm just going to measure from here over to make sure that that's big enough, but that should be fine. I kind of like having it come out the side, but that pan didn't have it. Alright, I got this template cut. I'm just gonna, so I can go put it in there on the tractor and make sure that this is gonna fit where the drain is, right? Either way, it's the same. It drains towards the back where the flywheel is. This goes in the front, so that's the front and that's the back. Another nice day, man. Alright, so I got that there, and that goes there, and that goes, see the fits in there, and there's the hole. Perfect. Gonna fit. You know, the other thing is it overhangs a little bit there, but I'm gonna be good. That's what that hole's for. Okay, we're good. I actually like the hole on the bottom better. It drains more oil out. Alright, we're gonna just double check these, make sure they're tight. I don't want them loose. I want them coming loose. Alright. We should be able to flip this thing upside down now and get it down on the ground. Maybe flip it upside down here and get it on. Get some oil in it and spin it over and see what happens. See how our compression is. You go, Waker. I'm gonna put this back together, but we got a good pan on it now. Alright guys, I'm gonna pull the plugs out again and make sure that there's no stuff there. We gotta put oil in it. We're gonna put oil in it, and then we could turn it over and see what kind of compression we got. I did put this back on. Just want to check the compression for now, and then we'll see if we could maybe we'll check and see if we got spark. And if we got spark and we got compression, it's gonna run. Get some oil in the thing, put a new filter on it, put some oil in it, and I got a new filter here for it. Got a little shitty with the oil there now. So I put a little bit of lube on there. A little lube will do you. I'm going to tighten that up. These filters are going to be tight. That's the only thing with these filters, is it's not like a car filter. You got to make sure that they're tight. Alright, I'm not worried about any of this stuff right now because none of this stuff's going to be in the way. Just want to pull the plugs out and turn it over and see if we get compression. Put oil in it. Put oil in it and see what happens, yeah. See if the starter works now. Before it wasn't working, obviously. It was just like not grabbing. So the flywheel's not going to hit. The flywheel's not hitting. So we should be able to spin it over easy enough. No. I'm going to need new plugs, and I'll put new plugs in it. I might put Alright. Let's see if we can hook up the starter. Get a battery over here and hook this shit up and see what happens. Alright, I got the battery hooked up. I just have to get a jumper to go to the solenoid, and it should be able to turn over with some oil in it. Give it a little drink here. A drink of oil. Should hold the oil. takes almost 2 quarts. I just don't want to spin it over without any oil in it, right? And that would be kind of dumb. That'd be kind of dumb. Don't forget that gotta spin it over and then check it again because of the filter. Don't forget we got a filter in there that we gotta fill up with oil too, right? All right, so we should be able to take the plugs out and those plugs. We'll spin it over. We'll take both plugs out. We'll spin it over and we'll double check the oil and we'll do a compression test on it with the battery. It's not going to start. There's no fuel to it, right? That should spin over fine. I just got to get a jumper for the solenoid. All right, guys. So I got the negative hooked up here, right, to a battery. And I got the positive hooked up, and then I got this. I'm just gonna hook it right to that thing there. I don't know where my button thing is. I can't find it. So I should be able to turn it over that way easy enough. Ready? I did put oil in it, so it's got oil in it. Let's check the oil. Let's check the oil level, see where we're at here. I'm gonna have to add some more. Right there at the full mark. Well, I gotta add a little bit more. Add a little more. Just a little bit. It's a little tipped. Try that, see what happens there. Level it off. Yeah, that's pretty much full. We'll top it off when we get it inside the tractor. I just want to check for compression. We'll put our compression. We'll check our compression now. Alright, so I just got a little thing here. I'm just going to hit on the positive to send power through that solenoid, and we could check the compression. I had good compression when I turned it over with the drill, but that ain't the same, right? $120. That's good. Let's check the other side. That's good. It's gonna run. I got the other side hooked up. Let's see what happens here. 20. Yeehaw! That's good. Alright. We should be able to get we should be able to get the metal back on it and get the coil hooked up and see if we get spark. Well, at least we got it back. I know it's going to run like that. There's a runner. We're just going to get spark and we should be good. Alright, I got this cover back on and I'm going to change this stuff, and I want to put all this back together and spin it over and see if I got spark before I put it back in. I don't know if this is any good. I don't know if the electronic ignition is any good on this thing. I haven't checked it. But I should be able to put power to the positive here and spin it over, and I should get spark as long as I got positive power to the positive. Let me get this cover back on for now and put a new condenser on it and maybe new wires and plugs, and we'll see if we get spark. So we get spark, we can put it back in the tractor and fire it up. Could probably fire it up right on this thing if I wanted to, but I hate to see it. I hate to see it break off. The thing's pretty heavy, you know. I do have a piece of wood outside I could put it on maybe if I want to. Alright guys, so I got a new condenser in there. This is a P-series motor, so it goes to the positive. That's the way it was. And I gotta do is hook a battery up. I got new plugs, new wires. I reused the old coil. I did put new plugs. I gapped them to 30. And I do have we'll be able to see if we're getting spark here. All I gotta do is put the battery down here and then put a positive from the battery positive to the positive on the coil. Then once we turn this over, I should get spark. If I get spark, we're going to put the motor in the lawnmower. If not, I might have to pull the flywheel. I don't know what the condition is of that. I'll hook up the battery and see if we get spark. Alright, so I got the battery here. I got the positive hooked up to the starter. I got this line here, and I'm just going to touch on the top of that to turn over the starter. I got a positive from here going up to the positive on the coil. Right, looks like it's feeding it from the ignition. And once we turn it over, we should get spark here. If we get spark here, we know it's going to run. I know I got good compression. New plugs, new wires. I don't know if the coil's any good yet, but this is what we're determining now. We're going to see if we get any spark there. Let's see if it turns over. I got the plugs in and whatnot. It should turn over. It was turning over before. I don't know if this fucking battery's any good. Alright, you guys ready? Let's see if we get spark here. You ready? We got spark there. Yeehaw! She's gonna run, Mama. She's a runner. Alright, next we're gonna do is I'll clean that carburetor out while I'm here. Alright, so it's gonna run. Next thing we're gonna do is clean this carburetor out. Maybe I'll wait till I get it on the... There's a jet in here that needs to be cleaned. It's gonna be an issue. Let's get this thing back, get the rest of these tins on here, and get it in the unit and continue. Hey guys, I got another firewall for it. This one here is not. The other one was broken in a couple of spots, and I like to put insulation. I got some insulation I gotta cut, and you know, stick the insulation to this, so when you put the motor on it, it's all insulated. That's how it's supposed to be. Well, some insulation right here. Let's just use the sticky glue type of stuff and stick it on there. I'm gonna cut a couple of pieces of contact cement right there. I'm gonna use before I put the motor back. Motor's ready to go. It's a good motor. We got good compression. We got spark. We know it's gonna run. I just gotta clean the carburetor. I put all the pans back, but once we get it in, we can clean the carburetor, and we're gonna do the oil line. We do the fuel lines and take the tank out and clean the tank's gonna be a flipping nightmare from hell. Full of water. Gotta dump all that shit out. Run all new fuel lines, and I'll show you how I check these pumps and see how I get them to pump. Usually use like electronic fuel pump into a container just to get the thing to run, and redo all the fuel lines. And then when this motor's running, you'll pull a vacuum, and I could, you know, put a hose on here while it's running and see if I can get it to purge once I run the new lines. I'll go over all that with you guys. Let me work on getting this done. Insulation. I mean, might as well do it right. If I'm going to do it right. Yeah, you can see the other one's busted there. I mean, I probably could weld it if I wanted to, but I got another pan. I might as well just change it. I do this shit as a hobby. I enjoy it, so it gives me something to do and get it running and get it moving around. And once I get it running and stuff, I'll do a nice power wash on it, get it all clean. I don't know how many hours are on the thing because the hour meters are broken, but the motor had good compression. You know, the motor had good compression, so. You know, like a template here. I got it marked. Glue it and stick it on there. I'm gonna put two layers. Boom. Contact cement, isn't that wonderful? Put them two together and we'll get a nice nice setup here, hopefully. Stick them two together and then we'll stick it on there. Ooh, he's a sticky one. A sticky one. Man. No extra price for the dirt. Extra dirt didn't cost me nothing. The motor's gonna squish this thing right in here big time. I'll pop the holes in it as I need it. Yeehaw. Some jism hanging off of there. Like I said, if you're going to do it, might as well do it right. It's a little bigger on the top there, but it'll be fine. Let that dry and